The state may call its next witness.
Dr. Amanda Puentes.
Come right this way now. Stand right here. Raise your right hand.
Do you have issues shall give report and be ready with the child. This issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, good afternoon. All right, Mr. Dean.
Good afternoon. Could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Yes, my name's Dr. Amanda Puentes.
And what is your city and state of residence in?
I live in Dade City, Florida.
And what kind of doctor are you?
I'm a pediatrician.
Where is Dade City?
It is about 26 miles northeast of Tampa, Florida.
And where do you work?
Currently, I work at Premier Community Healthcare Center in Dade City, Florida.
Is that you work in like an outpatient pediatrics clinic?
Yes, it's an outpatient pediatric clinic.
Okay. Are you, what type of pediatrician are you?
I'm a general pediatrician.
Okay. And how long have you been doing that?
I graduated or finished residency in 2006.
And you are here today, just to kind of put it out up front, because you were Quentin Simon's last pediatrician.
Yes.
Okay. Before moving to Florida, did you work in the Savannah area?
Yes, I worked in Savannah, Georgia from 2017 to 2023.
And where did you work in Savannah during that time period?
I worked at J.C. Lewis Primary Healthcare Center, and we have our own building that's dedicated to pediatrics.
Okay. And that's an outpatient pediatrics clinic?
Yes, it's an outpatient.
And is that where you saw Quentin?
Yes.
Okay. Let me go back now to education, training, and experience. Can you tell us about your undergraduate education?
Yes, I completed a Bachelor of Science honors degree through the University of South Florida in Tampa, Florida.
And did you go immediately to medical school, or did you work after undergrad, or what?
I was able to start medical school right after I graduated with my undergrad in 1999.
I'm sorry. Where did you go to medical school?
At the University of South Florida Medical School as well, in Tampa, Florida.
And when did you finish up medical school?
In the year 2003.
Now, after graduating from medical school in 2003, did you do a residency?
Yes, I did a pediatric residency program in the University of Nebraska, Omaha, and Creighton University. Dual program in Omaha, Nebraska.
What is a residency?
A residency allows a doctor to kind of more specialize, or the first step to specialize in a certain area. So you have pediatrics, you have internal medicine, which is primarily adult medicine, you have surgery, for example.
And dermatology, emergency medicine, all the different specialties?
Yes.
So you did your residency in pediatrics?
Yes.
And is that essentially the first step to becoming a pediatrician?
Yes, it's, well, the first and only step to becoming a pediatrician.
And how long was your residency program at, you said, a
3
dual
years.
program at Creighton and University of
Yeah, just both of those school funded and provided the education.
Okay. 3 years of that pediatrics residency, what did the residency involve?
It involved different areas of pediatrics, so not only outpatient, but inpatient, intensive care unit experience with the real small babies that are premature, as well as children, say that are very sick in the hospital, emergency medicine for pediatrics, psychiatric experience just under pediatric age group.
So during residency, you do a little bit of everything peds related?
Yes.
Okay. When did you finish residency?
I finished in 2006.
And at that point, did you get any kind of board certification or anything along those lines to be a pediatrician?
I was taking the board exam.
Okay. And are you do you hold any certifications or member?
I'm a board certified pediatrician
And how long have you been?
since 2022.
All right, since finishing residency, have you worked as a pediatrician uninterrupted through
Yes.
today? Okay. And so how many years would that be total?
So that would be 18 years,
I'm sorry to ask you to do math.
going on 18 years.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I would offer Dr. Puentes as an expert in pediatrics.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right.
Okay. I'd like to turn now to your involvement with Quentin. Okay. Can you tell us where, when, and under what circumstances you saw him?
So I saw him as a new patient in February of 2022. He came in for a 12-month well visit, although technically he was 13 months.
And what is a well visit?
So a well visit is a physical exam type visit that we go over safety in the household, developmental questioning to see where a child and make sure a child is developing normally, as well as administering vaccines if the parent would like their child to get the shots.
Is it fair to refer to a well child visit as essentially like a normal checkup?
Yes.
In other words, was he brought in because there was any specific health complaint, or was it just a routine visit?
It was a routine visit.
Okay. And tell us about your examination of Quentin that day.
That day, he was healthy, happy. I saw him with his grandmother, who he was in care of at the time. And developmentally, he was appropriate for his age, talking, walking, everything on time. And then on physical exam, I did detect a heart murmur.
Okay. And can you tell us what you did in response to that?
So because of the heart murmur and at his age, and oftentimes my patients through this clinic I may never see again, I referred him to a cardiologist.
And what cardiologist was that?
It was through the Savannah Children's Heart Center here in Savannah.
Do you remember the specific doctor?
It, according to his records, is Dr. Birch.
Okay. Was that heart murmur something that caused you any serious concern?
No.
Can you tell us why not?
So a heart murmur doesn't automatically mean there's something structurally wrong with the heart. It can just tend to be, at the time when you hear it, a difference in pressure through the heart, so a difference in blood flow. Sometimes the next person, even within minutes, another doctor could have listened and not heard a heart murmur.
Did Dr. Birch did Quentin then have a visit with Dr. Birch?
Yes, he then, within a couple weeks, had a visit with Dr. Birch.
And did Dr. Birch get back to you about his assessment of Quentin's heart murmur?
Yes, he sent me the office visit notes.
And was there anything about what Dr. Birch told you that altered your initial impression that this wasn't anything to be especially concerned about?
No, there wasn't. No concern.
Overall, would you describe Quentin as having been in good health, happy, normal child when you saw him?
Yes.
And did you ever see anything that would change that opinion one way or the other?
No.
Okay. Prior to your testimony in this case, did I ask you to review essentially all of his medical records from his entire life?
Yes, you did.
Did you review his birth and neonatal records from Flowers Hospital in Atlanta?
Yes, I did.
Did you review some prior pediatrics records from a clinic in Waynesboro, Georgia?
Yes, I did.
Did you review some records for an emergency room visit at either St. Joseph's Hospital or Candler Hospital?
Yes, I did.
And what were those for? What was that visit about?
The visit at St. Joseph's Candler was an acute visit where he had cough and runny nose.
Okay. Pretty normal for a
and
kid?
fever. Very normal for emergency room visit.
Okay. And did you also review the complete records from the Savannah Children's Heart Center?
Yes, I have.
But after that review, did you identify any documented condition that might have been life-threatening or anywhere close to life-threatening?
No,
Any reasonable medical possibility that Quentin just died in his sleep on the night of October 4th?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation.
She's been tendered and admitted as an expert, Your Honor. She can testify in the form of an opinion.
It's an ultimate issue in the case, Judge.
That's not the ultimate issue.
I'm going to allow the question.
Okay. Any reasonable medical possibility that Quentin would have just died in his sleep for no reason on October 4th, 2022?
no.
Thank you.
Any questions for the lawyer?
Yes. Dr. Puentes, let's pick up where Mr. Dean just left off.
Okay.
Okay. Does anyone just die for no reason?
No, yes.
Okay. Who? What would be the no reason that could occur where someone would die for no reason?
There's reports of adults, elderly, that will get a sudden arrhythmia and lead to sudden death.
But wouldn't the arrhythmia then be the reason for the death?
Yes,
Okay. So it's a nonsensical question, isn't it? There's always some reason for a death, correct?
if it can be proven.
Correct. What if it can't be proven? What if you don't know the manner, method, time? Does it mean someone's less dead?
No,
it doesn't, does it?
No, they're still dead.
Okay, so, but since you're a pediatrician, you're board certified, correct?
Yes,
And since Mr. Dean asked the question, I'll ask the question and take it a little bit further. Do you ever do postmortems on children?
no,
Okay. Have you ever done postmortems on children?
no,
It's not something you're trained in?
no.
Okay. The manner that you treat children, is it usually the health and wellness checks? Or have you ever done like emergency room visits or treatments?
A little bit of both, because some of the acute care can be involved enough to even call the ambulance to come to the office.
Okay. So, and whenever those children are in your treatment, okay, have any of those children died?
No,
Okay. So, when you did treat them, it was usually something that required some sort of immediate intervention, correct?
yes,
And you got it for them, correct?
yes,
And then they recovered, correct?
yes,
Okay. So let's talk about Quentin Simon in particular. You said you reviewed all of his wellness records and all of his medical records, correct?
yes,
So the heart murmur was of concern and note, but you referred him to the heart center and treatment was followed up on, correct?
yes,
And Dr. Birch, I believe it was, didn't seem to be concerned and neither did you, right?
exactly.
Okay. So with regards to the Wayne County records, anything of note there?
No,
Okay. And I think you said you also reviewed the birth and neonatal records from Atlanta, correct?
yes,
Anything of note there?
no,
Okay. Did you see anything in the birth or neonatal records that would raise your hackles or be of any concern to you for this child's health or well-being?
no.
Okay. Now, who was it that brought the child in to see you, I guess, in February of 2022, or do you not know?
No, his grandmother did, along with what grandma referred to as a nanny.
And that was in February, correct?
Yes, 2022.
And you also had a June 6th visit as well, or was that a different doctor?
That was the emergency room visit.
Okay, but that wasn't you.
No, that wasn't me.
But again, you reviewed those records, and again, nothing of any note or concern beyond, I guess it was a cough and runny nose, you said?
Yes, no concern.
Okay. And you're a mandated reporter, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. Can you explain to the jury what that means?
So I'm obligated to report a suspicion of child abuse or neglect. Any concerns, I'm supposed to report it to law enforcement.
And is there any special training you go through to do this job? to be a mandated reporter, or is it just part of your normal medical training?
It is, I guess, tutorials, a few hours of explaining mandated reporter, cases that it would come up or that might lead you to be suspicious in order to report, and then also how to report.
At any point in time, did you report any suspected abuse or neglect on Quentin Simon?
No.
That's all the questions I got.
You mentioned that it was his grandmother who brought him in when you saw him.
Yes.
You didn't report any abuse or neglect, right?
Yes.
But at the time you saw him, it seems that he wasn't even in his mother's custody, is that right?
Correct. He was.
Speculation.
The objection.
The objection is the cause for speculation of a legal matter, not a medical matter for which he's qualified.
Mr. Dean, do you want to respond to that?
I'll withdraw the question.
Thank you.
No further questions.
All right. Anything further, Mr. Hilliard? Okay, doctor. Thank you. You're excused.